Very tough feeling in that locker room right now. This team was really one of one in my mind as far as the feeling that's in there right now, the brotherhood. This team truly did a lot of special things this year, but we didn't play well enough to win the football game. And first and always, I know I've got to be better for our team. I've got 100% confidence in our players, our coaches. We've got the right kind of things going on in this organization, but we've got to find a way to play better as a team, complement each other, and do the things we need to do to win games against the class of the NFL. And that's what we're going to go back to work and do. I love this organization. I love those players more than anything, and I just appreciate everything about those guys and what they mean to me. They're a part of me, and they all know that. But that only gets you so far. You got to play to a certain standard, and we did not do that. Way too many negatives on offense, missed opportunities, and things that we could all do better. And that's what we're going to go back to work and do. It's obviously very fresh right now for a team that, from the moment I stood before them in training camp to right now, all they've ever done is be the exact team you want as a head coach. And I'm very, very fortunate to have this group and feel very blessed to be able to stand before them. Back to work we go. But this stings. I know it stings for our fans. It hurts. And we've got to use this as fuel moving forward, but at the same time understand the special group we had and acknowledge it and make sure we're aware of how we move forward, trying to build upon this team into next year.
How many sacks did you think it was Sam holding the ball? Or just difficulty with pressure?
Yeah, I thought we gave up some pressure. A couple of those there where they were able to scheme up a guy here or there that on paper you have accounted for, but it doesn't matter on paper. And then I did think, there were some other times where, we're not going to be able to win the game on one play, and me included. But there was just some plays there that if we go back and look at it, I'm sure, everybody in that room will acknowledge a play here or there, and just far too many negatives really over the last 2 weeks. Just too many negative plays that set you behind, and in a game like that, you've got to find a way to sustain a little bit more forward momentum, and still try to have your playmakers make plays, give Sam the chance to put the ball in play. We just got to find a way to eliminate some of those negatives, because that's never going to be a formula for any kind of success, regardless of if it's January or not. Just not a formula to win.
There's a lot of things that go into it, but just broadly, what do you think happened to Sam these past 2 weeks?
I think it's important that we look at it really two ways. Football-wise, playing the position of quarterback, areas that we can really focus on to improve, areas as an offense where we can pick our quarterback up with a little bit of execution, give him another click when it is a four-man rush, whatever it is. We've got to find a way to look at it from that standpoint. But also, I just want to say, I think it's very important we all think about, Sam's body of work, what he was able to do this year, when not very many people thought he would be able to lead a team to 14 wins. Very rare for a quarterback in their first year. In fact, it is rare, the most wins by a first-year quarterback with a team. And just the way he came in, committed himself to just a daily process to be the best version of himself. It did not work out in the end, and I think Sam would be the first one to tell you. Could he have played better tonight? I'm sure he would tell you that he could have. Could I have coached better? I promise you I could have. Could our team have rallied around, a play here or there to try to keep that thing competitive? For sure. But the other phase of it for Sam is acknowledging the things that made him a winning quarterback this year, and the consistency at the times he had it throughout the year, and what that meant for our team, because I think that can stay with him moving forward as he goes back to work. Proud of him. Proud of really everybody in that locker room, but Sam and the journey him and I went on this year will always be something that's a special place in my heart for sure.
I'm going to tell you this. How about the defense end up tying a playoff record with 9 sacks? Also, right, how about verse on the touchdown? Hey, I'll tell you what. There's so many guys that we could recognize, but I think this truly epitomizes a team win. You talk about a connected group. You talk about a team that said all week, we're built for this. That's exactly what you guys came out and did, man. Unbelievable. And all you guys did, you represented exactly what we wanted to be about, man. A city that's going through a lot of different stuff that can look to you guys and say, I'm proud of that group.
City on our back.
Just being your guys' self right there, man. Give it up for yourself right there. Hey, here we are. We said it earlier this morning. All right, pack your bags. We're going to Philly. Hey, enjoy this. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Guys that have been here on that 21 team know what it's about. All right, but hey, I'm so proud of you guys. Let's just make sure we understand sense of urgency and enjoyment that's going to be required to go do what we need to do next week against a team. Hey, we respect. All right, but hey, we're built for this, man. We're built for it.
Great start, man. A lot left to do now. Let's go get your mind right. Let's go beat Philly, huh? Rams on 3, 1, 2, 3.
What it do, YouTube? Is Coffee on the vid, tapping back in, and y'all see what it is, man. The playoffs have been quite exciting, man, to match what a great season this was, in my opinion. Let me know if y'all agree, man. But you see what it is with the Vikings, with Darnold, like the coach, you heard him, the fans are feeling it right now, and it's such a letdown, right? I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck, right? Darnold was a guy that, let's be blunt, let's be honest, thus far going into this season had sucked, been straight treated ash, and he steps into Minnesota, Kirk's out, Kirk ends up riding the pine in his new home, right? That's a whole nother story, but next thing you know, like, Darnold is stepping up, right? And he had a hell of a season. No one thought that it would even be this, I don't think. Like, real talk, any Vikings fans out there, tap in and let me know in the comments how you're feeling right now, the deflated feeling. Did you believe that the Vikings could get this W in the playoffs? As you see, this was so wild. They're the first 14-win team to have a road loss in the playoffs, because a few weeks back, all the success they're having, the Lions, who my Buffalo Bills beat, right? But I got to keep it a buck, man. These Rams are scary. They beat us. They had just got their offensive weapons all back at the time of playing us. And you see what their defense did in this game. Like, comment everyone about the Rams. Do you see them as true contenders? They're on to Philly. Can they get the upset over the Eagles? Like, they're coming off a big performance. What'll it be? What'll happen? What'll be the outcome? I mean, you seen them in the locker room. You heard the coach, that 21 team that did the unthinkable. Some of those guys are still there, and I don't know, man. They're looking pretty good. I could see them taking the NFC. It's going to be interesting. But getting back to what we're talking about with this road loss with 14 wins, after my Bills beat the Lions, they had to, a couple weeks after that, face the Vikings, who had been on fire, and that division was so good that the winner was going to, of course, be seeded 1 through 4, but the loser was going to drop to 5. So that game was like a big regular season showdown. The winner would be number 1, the loser would drop to number 5 in the seedings, and the Vikings could not beat the Lions. And then that's where we're at now, after all the success throughout the season, Darnold finally showing he can play when it comes down to it. 9 sacks, first road loss seeded this higher, this many wins. The Rams just ate him up, were on his bumper. He was panicked. You can see in the highlights, Darnold this game was over long before anyone thought, and that, or not anyone thought, just long before the game was over. This game got out of hand quick and just wasn't a ball game for very long. You know what I'm saying? And with all that being said, I got to talk to BillsMafia, everyone out there, man. You know, what I was saying about Darnold. Everyone knows out of that draft class, Lamar and Josh were the two best. No one wanted to believe it. Some people saw it. A lot of people thought the Bills were crazy taking Josh where we did and all that, but that's the big showdown coming up this week. Lamar and the Ravens coming to the 716, Buffalo, Orchard Park, New York. The Bills were prime for the Super Bowl run. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. Tap in and let me know your thoughts. But that's the real two quarterbacks out of that draft class, man. Darnold, when it came down to it, he just couldn't hang, man. Not even close to it. It was ugly, super ugly. You know what I mean? He couldn't withstand the pressure of leading a team in this high pressure situation in the playoffs. And he also couldn't withstand the pressure that the Rams defense put on him. Not even close, man. 9 sacks. You heard the Rams coach saying this is a true team win, right? We could name individual players all day, but this is a team victory. The team came through in the clutch in a major way, and they just really have a lot of momentum, man. I don't know, man. Again, can they knock the Eagles off that pedestal that they got back on? As we know last year, the way the Eagles, after a game last season where my Bills took them to the limits in overtime and we lost, the Eagles did win that game. But after that, it was only one more win on the season. You know what I mean? They just lost their mojo. Teams figured them out. It was like my Bills exposed them. And they just couldn't hang. But here, this year, after an implosion like that last season, thus something we've never seen before, they got their swagger back. And I don't know, them versus the Rams again. Comment with your predictions on that. Also, the Bills, Ravens, the true two best quarterbacks out of that draft class. Comment your predictions on that game. I think my Bills are going to do it, man. I really do. I think we've been... Comment anyone out there if you feel this way as well, that Brady and Josh Allen, our offensive coordinator, Brady, right? You know, he was the guy that last season when we had our struggles, when they made that change at offensive coordinator, we got back to business, handled business, won the division, you know, had all the naysayers shutting the fuck up. And this season, it was like Josh stepped up his game, and some of the small mistakes that he may have made in the past and just different stuff like that, he stepped his game up and eliminated that. And him and Brady have just been doing their thing offensively. And I truly believe from late in the season, right, the first matchup against the Patriots, not that second one, with the second and third stringers, the bench playing, from that point on, I feel like they kind of got random with the playbook and very vanilla, right? Not wanting to show what we got in store for the ops, the opposing defenses, the opposing teams. And even in this win against the Broncos, I feel like they kept it vanilla in a sense, relied on the run with Cook, who did the damn thing, franchise records and all that. What a season for Cook, man. And just, we were like a run first team. And you know, didn't dive into the playbook, opened it up a little bit, but didn't want to show too much. As we know in the NFL, right, it's all about film. It's all about that strategic chess game. And you know how it goes. If there's an offense that is on fire, everyone's watching film and trying to find a way to stop that, right? Make adjustments and whatnot. Same thing with the defense. If there's a defense that's just out there bullying teams, you know, putting teams on notice, everyone's watching film, trying to find a way to beat that. And I feel like the Bills and the offense have just diverted away from our true game plan, you know, as it all comes down to the playoffs, the tournament, you know, one and you're done. Just like what we saw with Darnold. They had a great season. Darnold proved he was better than everyone thought he was, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to heartbreak and all this for the Rams fans, and then they're up out of there. And this Bills team, we've been on the cusp of that Super Bowl, right? And you know, it's like, hey, block the regular season. We gotta get there, right? But you know, we're gonna do something a little different when it comes to the playbook, and we're gonna disguise what type of offense we're really gonna be. I don't know. That's my theory. Tap in, everyone, and let me know what you think about it all. It's so wild too, because on top of it, Josh and Lamar has been a big debate about MVP honors. Who will get it? Will Lamar get his third MVP? Will Josh get his first? Who deserves it? This, that, and the third. And then for all that to be going on, and you know, the Ravens to travel to the 716 for this playoff matchup, it's just like, man, this really is the matchup of the week, in my opinion, man. So there y'all have it, man. Darnold showed, you know, in a sense, what he's really made of. He's an okay quarterback, right? He stepped into an offense that was running like a well-oiled machine, and he did enough to get those wins. But when it came down to it, man, he had no answer for the Rams, and he looked like the Sam Darnold of the past. Like, these numbers really don't reflect what the game truly was. As his final stats on the day were 25 of 40 for 245 yards, a second half touchdown, an interception, and a 77.6 passer rating. Those concluding numbers look far better than what played out in real time, as the Rams pressured and plundered the QB, who was sacked on 18% of his 50 dropbacks. Per Next Gen Stats, it was hardly a result that could be pinned solely on the offensive line, as Darnold was often flummoxed by the Rams' man coverage, and it was just ugly. You know, like, those numbers, real time, what we saw, don't even coincide. Like, it doesn't tell the true story of how ugly it all was. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget the big headline that's been going on too is Darnold's second dud, right? 2 dud games in a row. Like, I don't know, you know, he showed he's really not that dude like that, but he's not exactly straight trash that everyone thought he was, but he's just not going to be the guy. And that's a big question too, as I close this video out. Rams fan or Vikings fans, everyone's please comment. Darnold is hitting free agency. Will he be back with the Vikings? You know, do you want to see him back? What will happen going forward? It's a lot of questions there, you know what I mean? But that's going to do it for this one. Here we go on to the divisional round. Exciting matchups. Let's talk about it all. Your predictions, your reaction to what you've seen thus far. Go Bills. It's Coffee signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video for me. We talk music, news, sports, and much more over here. And I'm up out. Cheer. Peace.